everyone, and welcome back to Hanafuda with Alton. This is the channel where we do pick a card readings using Hanafuda cards. So in today's reading, we are going to take a look at your December 2023 predictions. Yes, it is the final month, the final push for the year. So let us check out what is in store for us in this final month. We have 4 piles for you for today, and feel free to pause the video here to take a look at the energies of the cards and the crystals. And for those of you who would like close-up shots of the cards and crystals, we're gonna do that right now. Alright, so in pile number 1, we have a smoky citrine, as well as the Tanzaku and bush clover card in reverse. Now don't worry too much about the reversal. We're gonna take a look at what this means for you in your month ahead. So this is your really beautiful smoky citrine. In pile number 2, we have a Satyaloka quartz, as well as the moon and Suzuki grass card. In pile number 3, we have a polished tourmaline, as well as the plum blossom card in reverse. And I really like how this feels, like it just fits so well in the palm. And I like to hold it and meditate with this particular stone. So this is for pile 3. And pile 4, we have the Suzuki grass card in reverse, as well as a desert rose crystal. And don't worry about the reversal again. We're going to explore what this means for you in your reading. Hello pile 1, and welcome to your December 2023 predictions. So let us look at your Hanafuda cards first to see what is the overall theme for your month of December, and then we're going to look at the oracle cards to get further insights. So the very first card we have is Pine and Crane in reverse. The second card is, okay, very interesting. You have this card, which is the bush clover and Tanzaku in the upright position, and you have the same card in reverse, which was what you chose at the start of the reading. So there's definitely something here going on for you with the bush clover. We're gonna dive all deep into that just in a moment. And our final card is again another Tanzaku card, and this time it is the willow and Tanzaku in reverse. Okay, so the first thing that's coming through very, very clearly is that you guys really need to prioritize your rest in the month of December. I think that some of you guys may be kind of thinking of just going strong, just going ahead and trying to close the year on this productive note. But Spirit is really saying here that you do need to prioritize your rest. And the bush clover card is, or rather the bush clover flower, is one that talks all about rest and relaxation. It is a flower that really inspires us to rejuvenate ourselves, to take good care of our body and our mind, our soul. And I think that your pal, well, at least the first thing that I heard when I was looking at this card, which you picked at the start of the reading, was that a lot of you may be feeling quite burnt out, or if you're not burnt out, you just may be feeling quite jaded about life and just overall just very low on energy and just very tired. Fatigue is the word that I heard. And at the same time, even though you have this energy, there's a part of you that still wants to push ahead. It's almost like you're not recognizing this fatigue that you're feeling. It's like you may be telling yourself that if I recognize this fatigue, that means that I have failed, like if I admit that I'm weak or that I'm so burnt out, that means a part of me has failed. And that is totally not the case. That is totally not true. Resting and taking time off from work has got nothing to do with your success or failure. That is just a part of the process that is very natural for every single one of us. So in December, it's winter time, it is really time for you to prioritize your rest because nature is also entering its hibernation zone, and you can really ride on that wave and really just absorb a lot of really rejuvenating energies by almost like syncing your energy with nature, and really just vibing with that hibernation, that quiet winter period. So that's the first thing that's coming through for you, pal number one, is to definitely prioritize your rest. Now, the other two things that are coming up, the first one is with the Pine and Crane card in reverse. And this card tells me that a lot of you may be feeling quite depressed and down. And that feeling has been surfacing since before December, maybe like November, October period. You've already been feeling kind of down. Maybe you feel like this year didn't really go that well. There are some things in your life that have been pretty disappointing. And overall, it's just making your mood very low. And there is a message of guidance here, which Spirit wants you to know from the Willow and Tanzaku card, in that you are not alone. You're not alone in this journey. It may feel as though you're alone and you may feel very alone, but the truth is you are not, and you're really being called to recognize who are the people that are in your community, who are the people around you that you can reach out to. As much as you would like to receive support from other people, how can you be of support to your community? And there's this kind of like two-way energy going on here. I think it's sometimes a little bit counterintuitive, but like when we are in need of support in our lives, sometimes the best thing we can do is to give that same support to other people. And by that, I don't mean like by making yourself available to everyone, to be like the Aunt Agony for every single person in your life. I'm not saying that, but like volunteering your time to a certain community project, maybe volunteering in an animal shelter, or at this time of the year, there are a lot of like places that are giving out food for people that are in need during this festival season. So maybe volunteering your time to do those kinds of things. It's when we give the exact thing that we want that we then receive it. So there's that really interesting message coming through for you here. And if you feel called, you may want to do some of that in the month of December, volunteering for various charity, nonprofit organizations. And overall, I feel that it is really stepping into December is a time for you to just step into a quieter time. One thing that's also coming through here, Spirit is saying that it doesn't mean that you're not productive in the month of December. It doesn't mean that you don't do anything at all. I think this pile is very driven and you still want to do certain things, like achieve certain goals even in December. That's totally fine. But at the same time, do carve out space for yourself to rest, because it is so, your soul really craves that and your whole body really craves that. And that rest time is going to help you find the clarity and answers as to what this low mood is about. Because if we don't give ourselves that rest, healing time, these low energy, this like negative energy, it's gonna carry forward into 2024, and we don't really want that. So that's why this healing time in December is so important for you. All right, so let us check out our oracle cards now to see what else is in store for you. We have confidence is your key to success, new moon in Leo. And don't let your past hold you back, South Node. Okay, so you may have been working on some kind of a project and the past has been holding you back, basically. And I think that is where a lot of the sadness in you is coming from. It's just that feeling that, why can't I shake off this same reality? Why can't I transcend? Why is it that I am still doing this same, why am I still in this same grind? And the reason is that a lot of past energies are holding you back. And I think it's kind of in your face, but also it's like not obvious to you at all. Like whatever it is that's holding you back, it's staring you right in your face. Your guides are like, it's right there. This is what you need to look at. But I think it's because you have been carrying this weight for such a long time to the point that you can't really see it. It's like your blind spot now. So one way to really transcend this past energy is to believe in yourself, is to have confidence. What is something that you're really afraid of? What is something that really, every time you think about it, you just stop in your tracks and you can't seem to move past that? That is exactly the thing that you should be looking at. That is exactly the thing that you should not avoid. And by having that confidence to look at this thing, by knowing that your light is greater than whatever this past burden is, your light, your strength, and your power today as who you are is stronger than this pattern, is stronger than this shadow. You can conquer it, you can overcome it, and have the confidence not only to overcome this pattern, but also to achieve that success, to go beyond. And yeah, I think this relaxation, this time of rest is going to be so important for you, because when you truly allow yourself to relax, I think you're going to find a lot of answers from that quiet, because you're not like running around busying yourself all the time. You'll actually get space to relax, and that's when you'll be able to see, oh, this is the issue that has been holding me back. This is what has been keeping me stuck. It's in those moments of like meditation or quiet contemplation that you get the answers and you find the confidence to move forward. All right, pile number one. So our next two cards are release. Absolutely. It's time to release. Like, look at this person. She's standing in this graveyard, and I'm almost feeling like there's a huge part of you that's just looking for this release. Like, you're almost going through your own death process. You're coming into this graveyard of all of the parts of you that have died and really saying that I'm ready to walk away. I'm not going to linger on in this graveyard of my past anymore. I'm going to follow the light. I'm going to walk away from this. And there's a really beautiful message about letting the rain wash away all of the burdens. And the rain to me symbolizes a little bit like crying or emotions. So if you feel like really letting out that emotion, be it deep sadness and that grief or even anger, if you feel like, you really got to shed some tears, especially if you're like talking to a friend or you're like journaling and the tears just start to flow, don't judge yourself for that when that happens. Know that that emotional release is actually helping you to wash away the burdens that have been holding you back. And it's that emotional release that then makes space for new things to come in, for light to come in. So death, you are really going through a death process in December. So that is why, again, it's so important for you to rest, because it is during that rest time that you can then sink into your death, sink into your transformation, because you're not fighting it anymore. You're not trying to busy yourself and work yourself to death. You're just easing into it. And it's when we let go and just surrender to life and death that it becomes just so easy. It's no longer a struggle. All right. So the other card is insecurity. So there may be some things that we're insecure about that is keeping us from fully letting go into our death process. And by death process, I want to be a little bit more specific about this. What I mean is that a certain part of you is dying. A part of you from the past is dying. A certain identity about you is dying. Maybe you've always felt that you needed to make money a certain way. Or maybe all you've ever known was living from paycheck to paycheck. That has been your reality, and money, finances has been a huge insecurity of yours. And you are so ready to let that part of your identity die. And yet a part of you is like, so you're totally not used to a reality where you have a surplus at the end of the month, where a reality where you're not living from paycheck to paycheck. So even though you're so ready for this death, at the same time, it's so familiar to you. And it's like that insecurity is creeping up on you again. It's like, I don't know if I can accept this new reality. I don't know if I will be safe in this new world. And Spirit wants you to know that, you know, it's really in your soul's calling to thrive and to do well in life. And it's it's not your path to struggle. It's not in you to struggle so much in life. So that insecurity is really calling for you to look at it. Don't avoid the insecurity. It's uncomfortable, yes, but when that feeling comes up, especially when, let's say, your palms start to get sweaty when you think about this issue or this relationship or this problem, don't avoid it. Look into it. Feel what exactly is going on there. Explore it from almost like a third person's perspective, and that's where you will get the clarity. Alrighty, our next two cards are Selenite and Willow Tree, Goddess Spiral, Rites of Passage, Dreams Support. Ooh, okay, we have another Willow Tree. So this is the Willow card and we have another Willow Tree. So Willow is all about emotions actually. The Willow Tree really symbolizes our connection to the more deep, the more intense emotions, and it is cathartic, to let that process and let that come through. So you're definitely being called to stay in touch with your emotions, because your emotions are data points that are going to tell you important insights about what you need to transform so that you can enter the year of 2024 with a lot more grace and ease and wisdom and clarity about your next steps. The next card is Rose Quartz and Olive Tree, Alchemy of Love, Peace Offering, Compassion, Venus Energy. So with the Alchemy of Love, I feel that what is really going to alchemize your situation is love. And love is such a corny energy. It's like, yeah, we always talk about love in this like spiritual community, but from a deeper level, love is really a really powerful essence. It is inviting you to look at yourself for who you are and to be able to love the good and the bad within you without judgment. I think your pal is holding on to a lot of judgment about yourself, and that's making you feel really heavy weights that don't have to be there. You're judging yourself for the lack of achievements. You're judging yourself because you don't have this or you don't have that compared to other people. And that kind of energy is really holding you back in a big way. So being able to love yourself, your flaws, your shadows, the things that are not good about yourself, being able to just love and let go of the judgment about that is going to change the way that you approach your work, and you see things in new light, because it's less heavy, it's less stressful, it's less pressurizing, and you're gonna find the love and the fun and the passion for doing what it is that you're trying to do, which I think you have a lot of passion for. So overall, your cards are really just inviting you to enter December in a very different way, instead of like grinding, which I feel that may have been the energy for your pal for a long time. You're being called to enter December with more relaxation, and you'll be surprised at what relaxation can do for you in terms of achieving results. It's not gonna like just be a month of relaxation and you're not gonna do anything else. I think you're gonna be really surprised at, oh wow, when I relax, when I allow my body to rest, and when I listen to my body and my emotions, I am so much more powerful and I am so much more capable. All right, so pile number 1, that is what I see for your reading. Thank you so much for tuning in. I would like to thank Hanafuda Magic, my teachers and guides, for coming through with these amazing messages and wisdom. And if you enjoyed this reading, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe. It would really help out this channel a lot. And again, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you guys in a future video. Bye! Hello, pal number 2, and welcome to your December 2023 predictions. So we're going to first take a look at your Hanafuda cards, and then we're going to look at the Oracle cards to get more messages for your December month. So our very first card is Wisteria and Tanzaku in reverse. And then we have another Tanzaku card. This is Plum Blossom and Tanzaku, also in reverse. And finally, we have, wow, another Tanzaku card. Okay, this is Peony and Tanzaku in the upright position. Okay, so the Tanzakus are basically this like ribbon you see in the middle of the card. And what people do with a Tanzaku these days is in Japan, they would write their wishes on a Tanzaku and hang it up on a bamboo tree to pray for that wish to come true. So very clearly, for your month of December, you guys are really just entering a huge like planning phase. You're really envisioning your 2024 and beyond. I'm also hearing like you guys are really looking ahead, even like 5 years from now. Like, what do you want to achieve? What seeds are you going to plant now that you want to come to fruition in the next 5 years of your life? And you're really doing massive planning for yourself in the month of December, which is really awesome. One thing that I was hearing as I was looking at your energy of your pal is that with the moon and Suzuki grass card, Spirit wants you to know that you've had a really, really good year of harvest. The Suzuki grass and moon card symbolizes the harvest in the Hanafuda timing of the cards. And so I think 2023 has been a really, really awesome year for you, pal number 2. And that's why, you're really in this space where you're ready to look ahead. Like, okay, what can I achieve in the years to come? So there are some pieces of advice that Spirit already has for you here. First of all, with the Wisteria and Tanzaku in reverse, this card talks about how we may be settling for less. So as you are looking ahead into 2024 and beyond, be sure that when you put down any goals, you're not settling for less. So maybe we have this big vision and dream, and before we even put like pen to paper, there's a voice that comes in and says, no, that's too ambitious. Better put a more realistic target or something like that. And then we end up putting a smaller goal. So there is an element of that, yes, being realistic with our goals, setting ourselves up for success and not disappointment, yes. But for your pal, I think there is also a huge kind of energy here where you may have been settling for less in a lot of things in your life. I'm hearing you've been settling for less in relationships. Maybe we are always like dating people that we don't really fully align with, but we're just going along with the flow. In 2024, Spirit really wants you to know that this is the year where you put your foot down and you say that you're not going to settle. You're not going to let anyone who doesn't deserve your energy, who doesn't value your worth, to take space in your life, period. You're just not going to do that anymore. All right. The next card we have is the card of Plum Blossom and Tanzaku in reverse. Now, this card talks about how expectations are a killer of joy, which I think ties in really well with the Wisteria card we saw earlier, because you guys, I think you set really humble and realistic expectations, but there may be some kind of blockage there with regards to how big your visions are, how much you dare to dream. And Spirit is saying like, well, why are you holding yourself back? Like, why do you allow this nagging voice in your head to make your dreams smaller than what your heart truly desires? And we can set a big, audacious goal, and at the same time, we don't have to let that goal determine our happiness, our joy. We don't have to let it dictate every single part of our lives. We set that goal and we let go of it. We don't let that expectation ruin our lives. So you may want to look up some like manifestation videos. Maybe I'm even thinking of like how some like people on YouTube, specifically I'm thinking of like Gem Goddess. I'm very sure that if you're watching my video, you would have heard of Gem Goddess. The Gem Goddess, she's amazing. I really like her videos, and she talks a lot about manifestation, so you might want to check that out. And there could be some nuggets of wisdom there about how you can approach manifestation with more wisdom, with more insights and guidance, and that can help you shape a powerful 2024 goals for yourself. Now, the last Tanzaku card is the card of Peony and Tanzaku. Peony is a card that is a flower that is so luxurious, abundant. It represents prosperity. Peony is like this flower that is presented during like festival seasons in several East Asian cultures, that it really is a really prosperous flower. So I think that your 2024 is going to be really prosperous. And I know this is a December 2023 reading, but this is really just screaming like you're making plans for a really abundant 2024, and those plans are coming through. So what you need to know is that, look, don't settle for less, don't diminish your worth, and don't let expectations kill your joy. Don't let expectations kind of like dilute or like just cloud your judgment, because look, you are so capable of achieving this abundance and this prosperity. So why are you like letting all of this like people and things that don't value you hold you back? Why are you letting them determine your worth? So you got it. And like in the month of December, when you set your goals, just dream big and give yourself a chance to at least explore that idea before, like, I think you always like shut down the idea before you even go ahead and explore it. Spirit wants you to like just just try it out. Like, just give yourself a chance to explore it and see what happens. There is so much potential waiting for you, pile number 2. So let us check out your next couple of cards. We have faith in your dreams, waxing crescent moon. I mean, what were we saying this whole reading? This is precisely it. Have faith in your dreams. Like, there's a part of you that almost like doesn't believe in the fullest potential of that vision, and you're definitely being called to have faith in that wild dream of yours, and you are totally entitled and you totally deserve to have a big dream and goal. And who says you can't achieve it? Who says that? The next card is the energy is gaining momentum, waxing moon. So you have 2 waxing moon cards, and I think that really is how that energy is just gaining momentum and it's just building. You're really kind of like pushing ahead into 2024 and being able to manifest something. So the energy is really building, and this is really looking good for you. So December 2023 is awesome, and it's going to kind of like spill over. Those good energies, good vibes are going to spill over into 2024 as well. The next 2 cards we have is discovery and service. Okay, so what I'm seeing for you is that you're discovering yourself in a deeper way in December. And I think it is through all of that, like New Year resolutions, goal setting, that you're just sitting with yourself and really like discovering like, who am I and what do I really want to do? What is my impact on the world? How do I want to be of service to the world and to the communities around me? You're shifting from being like constantly working to fulfill yourself. It's almost like now you have the resources to be of service to someone else, to be of service to your community. Your cup is full, and so you can pour for someone else. And you're really feeling empowered to do that in the month of December and beyond. And I think this is really like a really exciting time for you. It feels like you're really just strategizing on how you can best make use of your time and your resources to create positive impact for the people around you. And this is such a huge, deep moment of self-discovery, because you're really looking deep and looking like, where can I be of service? How can I contribute to the world? What does my soul really want to, where do I really want to create impact on? What is my soul really calling me to do? And there's a huge sense of going deep into that soul's purpose and uncovering exactly what that means for you. It's so exciting. Pile number 2, it's really beautiful, and it's really amazing how you're just, jumping in and trying to be of service to people. So let us take a look at our next 2 cards. We have Secret Garden with Sacred Space, cultivate your space, inner beauty, and self-care. And then we have Fuchsia and Feldspar, Inner Child, Innocence, Self-Awareness. So it's really beautiful, like this secret garden energy. I feel like December is just this luscious energy for you where you're entering your own sacred space to do your vision board, to sit with yourself and sit with spirit and just be so ever present to the garden inside of you. And you're really just honoring the voice inside of you and cultivating that space for yourself and for the people around you. It's really, really beautiful. And I think you're really going to enjoy December a lot and just soaking in on this moment where you can just be with yourself, enjoy a lot of self-care, and just do a lot of like vision and dreaming, which is always so fun. And with that dreaming, you're also being called to let the inner child dream. I think a lot of the answers as to like what do you want to do with your life, how do you want to be of service, a lot of the answers may come from that voice of the inner child. There is a part of you that already knows very well how you can be of service to this world, and all you need to do is to listen and don't shut down any aspects of yourself. Don't deny or doubt any part of yourself, because even the inner child has a lot of wisdom for you. So pay attention to that voice and allow that innocent, playful voice to come through. It may not be very familiar to you. You may not be, very used to hearing this really, almost like to you, it may sound childish, but honestly, it's just the voice of an innocent part of you that never really went away. We thought that we are not playing on the swings anymore, and so we've left that childhood past behind, but there's still a part of us inside of us that is as pure and as innocent as that child. So pile number 2, this is what I see for your December. It is so beautiful, and I thank you so much for tuning in. I would like to thank Hanafuda Magic, my teachers and guides, for coming through with these amazing messages and wisdom, and I hope to see you guys in a future reading. Bye! Hello, pile number 3, and welcome to your December 2023 predictions. So we're going to take a look at your Hanafuda cards first, and then we're going to look at the Oracle cards to get even more insights about 2023 December for you. So let us look at the first card. We have Iris in the upright position. And then we have the Paulonia in reverse. And then we have, another Iris card. 2 Iris cards. Wow. That is significant. If you didn't know, the Hanafuda cards, like each suit of cards, like the Iris is 1 suit, each suit has 4 cards, and there are 12 suits in total. So for you to have 2 cards in 1 suit, which is like basically half of the suit is here out of a total of like 48 cards, that is pretty significant. So let us take a look and see what is going on here. I want to first talk about the card that you picked at the very start of the reading, which is Plum Blossom in reverse. Now, what I'm sensing from this card and what Spirit was saying is that I think a lot of you are coming into December with a little bit of a dread. You're feeling quite hopeless about December 2023 and beyond, feeling that nothing about your situation is going to change. Things aren't going to work out. There's a lot of like just dragging your feet kind of energy going on here. It's just like, another month. Why do I need to go through this again and again? And it just doesn't feel good, And maybe I'm biased, but I would really love for you to create that excitement for December and then for 2024, right? Like coming into the new year, just feeling that joy and the fresh new beginning kind of energy. And I would really love for you to shake off this hopeless, dreadful energy that you have around you. So there are some pieces of advice that Spirit is saying already for you. So the first thing, of course, we have to talk about the iris card. Now, the iris flower symbolizes choices. How can we make choices in alignment with our highest good? Now, that I think is something that we hear about a lot, like how can we be in alignment with our highest good? But in practice, really being able to do something in our highest good isn't always so straightforward or easy. A lot of the times we may be so used to a lower level choice that we always fall back to that lower denomination. One example could be finances, for instance, which I think is a pretty relatable example. Like if we're always used to a certain income level, always used to certain stressful moments with our finances, then it may be so difficult for us to envision a future where we don't have that kind of stress, where we don't have that kind of burden. It's going to be so difficult for us to make choices that are not based on that fear and that lack and that scarcity mindset, but it is exactly by not making choices from a fear based, scarcity based mentality that we can then transcend that situation. Yes, you may be in a scarcity position. Yes, you may be lacking in, let's say, finances or relationships or career opportunities, whatever it is that you find yourself to be lacking. That may be true. Sure, that's your reality, fine. But to move forward, we need to stop making choices that feed that fear. So, for instance, when we start to get stressed out and anxiety and anxious about our cash, or when somebody rejects us, we instantly, start to like get so nervous. What is it that we can do in that situation to break that pattern? One really good example that I can think of, or well, not really good example, but one just an example that I can think of is recently I was getting stressed out with cash, and I bring up cash an example because that's something that I go through. I was recently really stressed out with cash and just feeling like, oh shit, I I'm not kind of like hitting my goals and blah blah blah. And it was a lot of like fear-based conversation, and it's something that I'm so used to that I don't even realize that I'm saying all of these things to myself. And then luckily and thankfully, I was able to catch myself and go like, hey, I'm going to fear again. And that is the last place that I want to be. Instead of fear, I'm going to choose trust. So you can choose whichever energy you want to choose, like be it joy or surrender or happiness or trust. And I chose trust. I chose to trust that things will work out fine. And miraculously, I received some surprise income that came in from like private clients that work with me. And I know that it was actually not miraculous because it was when I chose not to entertain that fear based mentality that then I was able to receive the opportunities coming in. So apply that in your life as you may. Like when you come into that lack mentality, how can you break that pattern? How can we like do something different? There was like this one Instagram reel I was also watching where someone was saying like to break certain neural patterns, like instead of like brushing your teeth with your right hand, if you've been doing that all your life, wake up, the first thing you do, brush your teeth with your left hand. That's instantly like breaking one pattern in your life, and it's gonna like give a signal to your brain that you can make new choices. So all that is to say that in the month of December, you're really being encouraged to make some new choices for yourself and be bold about it. I think you're so I think you're really ready to make those new choices. It can be scary, it can be difficult, but what is the alternative? The alternative is this current struggle that you're dealing with versus going through this like difficult new choice. I think that you can handle it. Like you're already dealing with this like difficult situation. You already know how to deal with challenges. You have the resilience. You have the ability to manage. So it's also like the feeling that you're sick of this situation that you're in. You're already so sick and tired of going through this difficult situation every single day. You're so ready to to try something new, and you're definitely encouraged to do that in the month of December. Now, the last card is the card of Paulonia in reverse. Paulownia is synchronistically, it corresponds to the month of December. So there's definitely some time synchronicities for you in December where you're in the right time you're like, how do they say it? Right time, right place, right time. Yeah, you're in the right place at the right time in December. There are certain things that are working out for you. And December is really the time for you to let go, basically. With Paulownia in reverse, it's like, you want to make new choices, but at the same time, a part of you is afraid. A part of you is afraid of the alchemy of the transformation. And Paulownia is a flower that symbolizes alchemization and transformation. You're afraid of your own transformation. You're afraid of a new reality that you've never seen before, but you've been dreaming of this reality. You've been dreaming of this new way of living that doesn't require you to always struggle in this way that you've always been. But it's almost like you're pulling your own leg, you're like pulling yourself back. So that is like the energy going on, and you have the ability to change that around. And the cards are present here to tell you that you don't have to do this. You don't have to sabotage yourself. You don't have to be your worst enemy. You can be your greatest ally, and it's time to be your greatest ally, to be your greatest supporter, and make those new choices for yourself. And let us check out the oracle cards. Maybe we'll get a sense of like how you can make new choices. Like, what exactly does that mean for you? So we have the energy is gaining momentum, waxing moon, and show the world the real you, full moon in Aquarius. So if you have been holding back on showing the world who you really are, this is the moment to do it. Maybe you're afraid to show like what is it that you really want to do. Maybe you're afraid to tell people that, hey, actually I'm passionate in this area and I really want to pursue a career in this path, and you're afraid that people are going to judge you. What are some very commonly judged careers? Like, I don't know, nobody's going to judge you. Nobody, quote unquote, nobody's going to judge you if you say you want to be a lawyer, but people are definitely gonna raise their eyebrows if you say you want to be a musician or an artist, or you want to be a YouTuber for that matter. Like, people are gonna be like, really, are you sure? And it's like you're holding yourself back from all of the judgment that you potentially could face, and that could be where the fear is coming from. So new choices, it's so hard. I can feel it. Like, a part of you is just like, how am I even gonna show up in my real self? Like, how? But give yourself the gift of showing up as the real you. It's like one of the greatest gifts that you can give yourself. And like, you've been trying to do something without showing the real you, and you've been experiencing how painful that is, how difficult that is, how much of a struggle that has been by like trying to do this thing without revealing who you are, without showing up as the full person and the full being with all of your gifts, your talents, and all of your light. You've already been doing that, and you know that it's not working out. So it's time to make those new choices, and the energy is gaining momentum. So I think this is a huge motivation for you to know that all of the effort that you've been putting in, it's not gone to waste. Things are indeed moving, and it is all up to you on how you want to push that forward. And I think that the key to really unlocking all of that energy and all of that momentum in a much bigger way, I'm not saying that it's not gonna happen. The energy is already gaining momentum, and what's gonna like push it to the next level is when you show the world the real you. Pile number 3. Okay, let us check out our next couple of cards. Ooh, you have 3 of these chakra cards, so let's check them out. We first of all have expansion. Look at that. Like, we started out the reading feeling kind of like down, and it's a little bit like not very hopeful, but look, you have this expansion. You have all of these gifts. This yellow light here represents the gifts that are coming through for you. So things are moving. Pile number 3. And so I think you should feel really, really encouraged to step out in your true self, knowing that the world and the universe is on your side. The world has your back. Your spirit guides have your back. Your angels got you. Spirit has is looking out for you, and things are gonna be fine. All right, we have instinct. Ooh, yeah, following your instincts, just going with what you feel without over analyzing, without like questioning so much, just following the inner voice, and that's gonna lead you to the right path, knowing that, just trust. Yeah, didn't we say trust just now? Or that I was talking about trust? Yeah. um Trust your instincts. Trust that you have the wisdom and the insight to do the right thing for yourself. And instead of like worrying so much about the fear, about whether or not you're making the right move, about whether or not they're going to be dangers ahead, trust. And it's almost like a dance with your instincts, a dance with source. And it is a dance with the unknown as well. Like, yeah, we don't have all the answers. Yes, we don't know what the path ahead looks like, and we're gonna dance with it and know that you are safe. That's another message that's coming through. You are safe, pile number 3. You're safe to explore. The world is a safe place for you, and you absolutely can show up as the real you and be safe in the most true and honest version of yourself. The next card is wisdom. Yeah, you're definitely unlocking a lot of wisdom in the month of December. I mean, so much is already pouring through from this reading, where your pal, you have been doing so much work. I think you've been really putting in so much work into whatever project or whatever manifestation you've been trying to achieve. And all of that has not gone to waste, even though you haven't really seen the results, because all of the work that you've put in is being translated into wisdom. You've done so many things, you've tried so many things, and it's all coming back to you in the form of wisdom. So you have the wisdom, you have the instincts to expand to your fullest potential and to show the world the real you. So like, look at this, like, I think a part of you almost feels like you're lacking a lot and you don't have anything, but like spirit is like here saying that, look, you have wisdom, which is not something to be trifled with. It's not something that you should like diminish. Wisdom is so powerful and so important, and you have the instincts, you have that special knowing about what to do next, and that's going to help you with your expansion. So acknowledge the gifts that you have and move forward powerfully with them. Our next 2 cards are Fairies orders rest, replenish, and release guilt. Okay, so you have orders from the fairies to rest. You've been pushing really hard for all of 2023, and it is time for you in December to give yourself some time off, to rest, to really follow the cycles of nature and just hibernate for a little bit, even if just for a little bit. And that rest is going to like, look, there's this like cup pouring over this person. That rest is just gonna luxuriate you with this beautiful juice. This beautiful and restful juice of good energy and good vibes from nature. Okay, the next card is Ethiopian Opal, Fertile Ground. Oh my god, you are standing on fertile ground, pile number 3. So we have Pegasus, Unicorn Energy, and Rainbow Child. Not very sure about these 3 words, but if they mean something to you, that's definitely confirmation for you. But all I'm really seeing here is that you are standing on fertile ground. There's a lot of miracles around you with the unicorn energy. There's a lot of magic around you. Even if you don't see it, it's definitely there. And what can I say? You know, you are really just in your abundant phase, and you are in an expansion phase, and really trust and know that as you show up as your real self, the more you show up as your real self, the more powerful you are, the more capable you are to achieve that success. So pile number 3, that is what I see for your reading. Thank you so much for tuning in. I would like to thank Hanafuda Magic, my teachers and guides, for coming through with these amazing messages and wisdom. And if you enjoyed this reading, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe. It would really help the channel out a lot. And I hope to see you guys in a future video. Bye! Hello, pile number 4. Welcome to your reading about your December 2023 predictions. So we're going to start with the reading first with our Hanafuda cards, and then we're going to grab our oracle cards to get more messages for you. So the very first card we have is the Plum Blossom and Tanzaku card in reverse. Group 3 also got this card, so if you felt called to watch Group 3, this may be confirmation for you to check that out as well. Ooh, okay, we have another Suzuki grass card, this time in the upright position. So you have one of the Suzuki grass cards in reverse and another in the upright, which is very interesting. And the last card we have is Pine in the upright position. Okay, that's really an interesting message here. So the first thing that I heard for you, pile number 4, is that there may be some inner conflict within you about what do you want to do next in your path. Because we have these two cards here and they kind of like, one is in reverse, one is upright. So it symbolizes that like 1 step forward, 3 steps back kind of energy here. The Suzuki grass card or the Suzuki grass, it talks about boundaries, about setting healthy boundaries for ourselves, it talks about the harvest of our goals, harvesting, just the harvest season in general. So I think that a lot of you are like kind of like planning ahead, like using December as your month to plan ahead for 2024. But a part of you is like wanting to move ahead to harvest what is inside your heart, to like move ahead to take the action steps to harvest what is inside your heart. And then the other part of you is like trying to protect or trying to like set up boundaries in some way. It's like a little bit of the energy of holding yourself back. But at the same time, it's like you're coming from a place of like, maybe I need to be careful about it. Maybe I need to set boundaries. So that's where a little bit of that inner conflict is going on. One part of you is like ready to put your foot on the gas and just go accelerate into 2024. The other part of you is like, ooh, cautious. Let's be careful about this. Let's think twice. So there's that going on. I'm not sure. Let's keep going and see what the answer may be for you. Maybe in the oracle cards we'll get some answers as well. Well, the other thing here with your Plum Blossom and Tanzaku card, what I'm really hearing from this card is that we're being called to create some kind of a consistency around our routines. Because you have some things you really want to achieve, but in order to get to that destination, we need to create the framework for success. And the framework for you, I'm hearing a large part of it is consistency. How do you show up for yourself regularly in that aspect of your life is going to impact the outcome of that goal in a big way. So for instance, like if you have like a fitness outcome, then going to the gym regularly is definitely going to have a huge impact on the outcome of your fitness goal, right? So we do need to then set time in our calendar to plan, to find which are the right gyms for us to go to, to make really concrete plans. That is that kind of energy that you're being called to invite in the month of December. It's really like creating that structure, and maybe that's the answer to this like conflict for you, between like dreaming really big and just having like this really like huge amazing goal, and then coming back to look at, okay, I want to achieve this thing. How can I get there? Is there space in my calendar to do so? Do I have space in my house for like gym equipment? Or let's say you want to revamp your wardrobe. Do you have space in your wardrobe to put new clothes in? Like the physical part of the equation needs to also be answered. So I think that's your focus, your big focus for December 2023. Now with Pine is an evergreen tree. So it invites us to look at what is eternal inside of us. It invites us to look at our long-term commitments. So I think that maybe a lot of you like have a lot of like different goals, and you have a lot of different interests, and you're like looking here and there and always like interested in a bunch of things. Spirit wants you to like take your focus back to what is most important to you, because you've got a bunch of things on your New Year's resolutions list or like your 2024 vision board, and not everything is a lot. Not everything like means that much to you. Like not everything is like so deep for you, you know. Like some of it is like, yeah, that would be a nice to have, but do you really want the pressure and the added stress of like trying to achieve that thing, especially when it doesn't really mean that much to you? Probably not, you know. So some discernment is coming through for you in the month of December, where like that's really going to help you set yourself up for success in 2024 by discerning like, do I have the time? Do I have space, physical space, calendar space, or mental, emotional space to accommodate this goal? What are the practical steps that I need to anchor into my life that can help me to realistically achieve this result? And you can also be really unreasonable with yourself and unrealistic if you want to achieve like a big goal. Like for instance, if you have a huge career goal and you really want to push ahead in 2024, and you know that it's going to be a stretch in your calendar to like put this new project in, you can totally do that, but you need to definitely plan ahead wisely to make sure that you actually do have that capacity in your calendar to stretch. Because if you're already like maxed out, you're gonna set yourself up for disappointment, because well, where's the time to get all that done? And I don't like the way that I'm kind of put. I mean, I don't know. I don't like the feeling that, you know, we're getting restricted by time and like all this kind of things, like all of these physical limitations. But it's not really a physical limitation, but rather just being practical about what you can and cannot do. And it doesn't mean that because you can't do something now that you can't do it later. Like it could happen, and it could happen at a later date. So make those plans wisely. I think that's really coming through for you. I hope all of that made sense, because I felt like a lot was coming through. And I was just really like feeling the messages that Spirit was coming through. But yeah, I hope that made sense to you. Let us look at our oracle cards next. We have emotions are running high, super moon, definitely. And your dreams need a practical plan, full moon in Taurus. Oh my god, like we were literally just talking about your practical plan, pile number 4. Okay, so yeah, you need a practical plan for your dreams. You need to anchor in those like calendar dates, like really see like, where can I make space for this thing? And if it is a matter of making space, maybe some things need to go. Maybe some things on your plate need to get postponed to the later part of 2024. You know, like you can be creative about it. It doesn't have to be like one this way, if not, I mean, it doesn't have to be like all or nothing. It can be really creative and flexible with how you want to achieve that goal. So emotions are really running high for you in the month of December, because you're doing all of this planning and this vision boarding and really just feeling into your future. And I think it's gonna make you feel a lot of different emotions for your pal. I think you're someone who is like so driven by like what you feel, and you're really gonna feel a certain type of way about a lot of different things. Just so much excitement, so much joy, so much anticipation, and maybe also a lot of like fear and anxiety and uncertainty as well. But you are someone who rides with it. You really just ride with your emotions, and you I can feel that you just embrace it, even if it's fear. It's like, oh my god, I'm scared, like let's do it. You know, like some people get scared and they like take a huge step back, but for you it's like, oh, fear, all right, let me take a step forward and keep going. You know, like you're very in touch with your emotions, and that's really beautiful. And yeah, it's just a month where you're really just open and exploring all of the opportunities and possibilities in 2024. So we have mysticism, and this one is really about like just that uncertainty. Like we never know what is coming ahead of us. I think Spirit also wants you to factor in in your practical plan an element of mystery, an element of surprise, an element of uncertainty, because as much as you want to plan everything to a T and try to envision everything in the future, there are going to be surprises, and some surprises really make us very happy. Other surprises may throw us off a little bit. But all of it is in our path. All of it is meant for us to learn a lesson or receive a blessing. So create space as well for surprises. Something else that I'm picking up as well is that there's going to be some surprises for you in the month of December, not just 2024. That is something that's definitely coming through, like surprises in 2024. But in December, you're going to get a surprise visit from something. It could be a relationship, it could be a career kind of opportunity, it could be like a new stream of income opening up for you. There are some surprises. The next card we have is trickery. Okay, so with trickery, I think this is definitely a talking back about that inner conflict within you. There's that part of you that almost wants to like trick yourself into thinking that, fill in the blanks, like what do you trick yourself into? Like, one thing that I can definitely see for your pal is that we may have a tendency of like biting off more than we can chew, and there's that excitement, that really like excited part of yourself is always like very enthusiastic about like doing a lot of things and like trying to be in a lot of places at the same time. And that part of yourself may almost like trick yourself into thinking that you could do it all. And that is where that voice of caution is like reeling you back to say like, hey, let us take a step back and let us look at this again. And I think your pal is like, you really don't like that voice of caution. Like it feels very restrictive to you. But this voice of caution isn't trying to restrict you. This voice is actually trying to help you to create the structure and that framework to make that happen. Because if we are running ahead and putting our foot on the gas all the time, we may not actually have the proper infrastructure or the framework to achieve that goal, because we're running on a high and that's going to run out. So this voice of caution is actually going to help you to achieve more in less time. All right, so listen and pay attention to that, and work with that voice rather than resent it or ignore it. Okay, which is really, really cool for you. Actually, it's a really exciting month nonetheless, and I think you're just really coming into a next level of just having a practical plan for yourself and learning what it means and the value of like creating a calendar structure or creating like a bullet journal or something like that. So that's something for you to think about. The next two cards we have is the Empress Tree, Catalyst for Change, Clarity, Freedom, Unbinding. And then we have Ember and Dawn Redwood, Rewild, Druid, Tree Keeper, Perception versus Reality. Very interesting cards. And there's a theme in your reading where everything is like green and purple. So a lot of heart chakra energy, your heart just moving forward and being the drive, and your crown chakra, your third eye chakra, really bringing in that wisdom. So I think you may feel that this voice of caution is coming from a more fear-based space, but this voice of caution is coming through from that psychic part of yourself that is like really bringing in wisdom from source. So that is another sign for you here to pay attention to that voice, that mystical, that more spiritual voice. That voice of caution, the Empress Tree, Catalyst for Change, that voice is bringing about change for you, is bringing about freedom. When you have routine and structure, that is where you have freedom. Isn't that interesting? You know, when you put in place certain routines, it allows you to follow that structure and create a system that almost like runs on its own, such that you don't have to like tend to it every single day. It will just run. Like for instance, every day when we wake up, we're definitely gonna like brush our teeth, go to the toilet, put on our skincare, put on our clothes. Like that is the system that works for us. And as we repeatedly do it over and over again, it really anchors in that structure of what we need to do to wake up, what do we need to do to get ready, right? And that's something that almost like goes without saying for a lot of us. It's so obvious, but think about it in terms of like business. Like, what is something that just makes your business run, that just gets your business going and wakes up your entire business and keeps it running? And you don't even have to think about it. You don't have to think about brushing your teeth. The same goes. You don't have to think about this thing for your business, and it just works. So that is what that routine is creating for you, pile number 4. So that is such an interesting and cool message. And the next card we have is Rewild, Druid, Tree Keeper, Perception versus Reality. I think this is so interesting because there is that very wild aspect to you where, as we've been seeing in this reading, the part of you that just charges ahead full speed, and that part of you has been actually serving you very, very well because you've been able to manifest a lot with that fearless, reckless energy. And I mean reckless in a totally good way. It's just you charge forward without fear, and that's really great. And we are attuning that with wisdom, and we're learning like perception versus reality, like re-examining almost how we have been living. Because there's a way for you to improve, there's a way for you to do better in life. And as much as like this way of living has been working out for you, there is a better way to do things. And Spirit is really inviting you to look at that perception versus reality. How has this charge ahead, full speed ahead part of you been serving you? And how has it also been not serving you? Maybe there are moments where we charge ahead and we get into accidents, we get into conflicts, we get into certain situations that we could have avoided. So this is a month in December where you're like, I think you'll find spaces and moments in December where you can evaluate this, be that during your time of reflection, when you're planning for 2024. That's a really great time to look at that perception versus reality again and allow yourself to see a different way of doing things. And it's going to be a really cool and exciting 2024 for you, and just one where you really can use your abilities as that charger, as the go-getter, and combine that with the wisdom, the psychic, the calm and collected part of you. That blending is really going to create this huge catalyst of just wonderful, like, you have two really awesome parts of yourself, like one who is a go-getter and one who is like wise and calm and collected. Like those two energies together are so potent. So use them wisely, and really your guides are really saying that it's time to awaken the wise woman inside of you. Wow. It doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman. I don't know what that was just the message that came through. That wise woman inside of you, that divine feminine part of you, is really awakening. Your yin side is really awakening in the month of December. Okay, so pile number 4, that is what I see for your reading. Thank you so much for tuning in. I would like to thank Hanafuda Magic, my teachers and guides, for coming through with these amazing messages and wisdom. And if you like this reading and would like to support this channel, you can do so by giving it a thumbs up and subscribing. It would really help this channel out a lot. And otherwise, thank you so very much for watching again, and I hope to see you guys in a future reading. Bye.